Obviously, like I was saying, I think that Van Dijk can be that type of player. I think Craig Gordon's definitely that type of player. I'm seeing things that
Okay.
you know what who's developing as a football player as well now, Ezagiri. I think Ezagiri's been absolutely fucking phenomenal over the last few weeks. Yeah, no, I'm really pumped about this team. I'm really excited. I haven't been this excited about a Celtic team in a long, long time. I think we've got a manager who's been given pelters, and I think he's turning the corner. And I really like Ronnie Dyla. I hope he pulls it together. I've never wanted someone to succeed so badly as Celtic manager than this guy. I've had thoughts over the last few weeks with him being like, oh, he needs to get sacked. You know what I mean? Where like you just kind of have those doubts of is this the guy? Is this guy? I think we need to give him time. I think we need to give him quality. I think he's one or two players away from producing a very very good football team, and I just
So do you
hope.
so do you think we can get that defensive midfielder you were talking about?
I think that would be one missing piece of the puzzle for sure. I think the other thing is I think we need to lock down Guidetti. We need to lock this guy down. Give him a contract as soon as possible. Well, obviously we can't give him it till January, but get the window open and get him talking about.
I'm curious to see what the attendance was today versus what it was against Killy on Sunday.
Well, it's a 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday, so there's no real
Yeah.
excuses. But
No. I'm just curious to see what it was because after the team's on a run. I mean, they're 9-1-1 or 8-1-1, and it's they're playing much better.
you know what?
And
This actually
it's
feels
interesting.
like it was the year that Wim Jansen took over, and we were shite to begin with, and then suddenly we started building momentum, running into the League Cup final, and we won the League Cup. It kind of
Okay,
feels like
you know
that.
what? I want to wait. Hold on. Let's do throwback Saturday afternoon here. I remember one of our first episodes. You're like when we were talking before we went on. We didn't actually put this on record, but we were talking about it. You said, "No, I want to lose." You told me how you wanted to lose all of the preseason matches because the last time we won them all, you ended up firing Tony Mowbray.
Yeah, no, I'm like most Celtic fans. I'm really superstitious, and a bad preseason means a good regular season. However, our bad
Yeah,
preseason kind of went to the first 6 games of the league season as well. So
yeah. They peaked too early, like in June.
yeah, but no, the I don't know, man. What do you think? What do you think of Ronnie? I mean, it's probably it sounds stupid, probably still too early to tell as he turned the corner. But what do you make of the guy? What do you make of the team? Or, I mean, seems like we're building some momentum anyway, right?
There, yeah, it's for me, yes, and it's beginning to get there. And it's funny to hear all the comments. I mean, you read stuff and all the different blogs, everything else is out there. You want to stay connected. You want to see what people have to say, what resonates with you as far as what they're saying, whether or not you believe it or you want to buy into it. And the comment's always been, the comment that I saw the most was Ronnie keeps saying, we may have won 1-0 or 2-1, or we drew 1-1 or we lost to Hamilton, but he kept saying, I'm seeing it, I'm seeing it, I'm seeing it. And there were times today when they were over all over Inverness. And the entire time it was like, wow, I like the way they're playing. And we had even texted back and forth, and you had said, I'd rather watch this than any of Lennon's teams. And I thought that was interesting, not because it was, because it was they were winning at the time when I texted you that. It was because of their attacking and the way they attacked and hunted in packs. And I think that's telling. And I think he is missing just he's missing one minor piece. And I think the difference between a Wanyama versus who we're going to talk about in a few minutes
Oof.
is that this guy we're talking about here has a point to prove.
Hmm.
Wanyama just wanted to move on. And he's beginning to come into his own, and he even scored a gorgeous 45 yard goal today. And that's great. But you know what, though? I think the more and more I see it, the more and more I think the two of us have basically come to a middle ground about what the team philosophy should be, is growing to be, of getting guys on loan to test them out. The Guidetti thing's one, or getting guys, last year their contract, another one of those. But I mean, looking at whether or not the last of the contract for Wakaso is one of those people, or looking to see how those type situations work out. Burgett, we didn't have to spend any money on him. We got him on a transfer
Totally forgot about
on a
him.
loan.
He's
Yeah, and
just
listen, man, he's
disappeared.
awesome. You got he is looking more and more like an extra from Highlander every time I see him. But anyway,
I've totally forgot about him. Just doesn't even appear on any form of team sheet. Yeah, I think he'll be
yeah,
done
no,
at I think he'll be done at Christmas. But no,
yeah,
I think at the moment what we're saying is like see the attacking thing. Right, we're still not creating enough chances. A little bit. I think that's one of the things we struggle from. I think if we take out Mulgrew and put in a really quality defensive midfield player, I mean a really quality guy that covers a shitload of ground. I think at the moment Johansson's kind of looking over his shoulder and he's thinking, I can't really commit forward that much because I've still got cover ground for this guy Mulgrew. See if you get someone that could like really, really cover ground like all over the shop, similar to Bruni or
oh,
a real quality
one
guy.
more,
I think you could
one
just
more to
take
get stuck in.
you could
One
just
more.
take the
Yep,
leash off Johansson, just be like, all right, son, run with it, on you go commit forward, keep on going
yep,
forward and commit there.
yep.
And
Three 300.
you would see a hell of a football player in Johansson if he didn't have to worry about tackling anyone and winning the ball and all that sort of thing and push it by.
Mm-hmm.
And also see when like Izagiri's bombing forward, oof, that would be brilliant. That would be, I think it is the missing piece of the puzzle at the moment. So
One more speedy defensive guy with Bruni to pair up to be right in front of our center halves, and then Stokes or Griffiths on the left, and then you get Matthews or you get Forrest on the right, and you put two guys up front. And Jesus Christ,
that's a hell of a
that's it.
see,
That's
can we
that.
just mention Brown a wee second, right? I feel sorry for Brown because he's totally taken for granted by a lot of the Celtic support. Now, there's been a couple of instances where,
Not this podcast, by the
yeah,
way.
not this one. Weeks ago, we mentioned that he won the ball. He ran about maybe about 30 meters, slide tackled, won the ball, and with one flick played like a 35-yard ball right across the field to find a wide open player. And that was brilliant. And then there's some play today that he done where if he was, it's just because it's Scott Brown, it doesn't get applauded. See if this guy was a new signing and he was like a fucking Italian guy with like long flowing locks and we just got him from AC Milan and he played the exact game that Scott Brown played today, we'd be cheesing
Oh,
ourselves. We'd be fucking jizzing our pants over the guy, being like, "Oh, what a player! He's outstanding. He's world class." That's exactly what people would say. But because it's Scott Brown, we just don't give him credit.
and that we said it 2 weeks ago. We said that. We said, "Listen, would it be worth tying him up, even though people saying they're going to let him go at the end of his
Keep him,
contract? That
keep him,
keep him.
keep him.
2 years of him versus trying to just look at it this way, and I'm going to put this real quick and move on to something else. But it took us how long to find Hooper's replacement?
Yeah.
How much money? If you got someone who wants, and Hooper didn't want to stay,
Can I,
if you got someone who wanted to stay, give him the extra money. You go ahead and let McGregor or Henderson or somebody grow into that spot. And
absolutely.
there's no need to do that right now. Give whatever money he wants, give it to him.
Yeah. You can't. Firstly, you can't buy character. You cannot buy
No,
character. Secondly, see,
no.
just mentioning Hooper there, right? See, one thing I'll admit about Hooper is I never really bought into Hooper as a Celtic player. And my mate asked me, he's like, why is it? Is it because he's English? Like, is it because. And I was like, no, because it's not because he's English. I'm not like bigoted or xenophobic or something like that. Because one of my favourite players as a Celtic fan growing up was Chris Sutton and Thompson. So like, it's not because he's English. It's just because I just don't think he cared that much. I don't think he was really that into it. And he's also not the type of player that I personally like. I like guys that are kind of a bit more all round striker, can header the ball and stuff like that. See Guidetti, I love Guidetti. And I love Guidetti more than Hooper. And it's like, it might be because like Guidetti's new and fancy and blah blah, we just got him in and it's exciting to see him score goals, but he just looks like he enjoys playing for Celtic on another level from what like people like Gary Hooper did. So I'm loving the guy.
But my point is that without having to replace, I mean, not
Oh,
having to
I
replace him or spending the money we spent to replace him,
definitely.
as compared to what's going on, what would happen if we had to replace, Bruni. I just, there's, you can't, and plus don't forget, it has, I mean, you could replace the goals. I mean, hell, I mean, Common scored 30 last year. That's great. But you know what, though? You're not going to replace one who is willing to put their ass on your hip and knock you off the ball and start the counter attack anywhere in the field. Anywhere. he is willing to go ahead and land shark somebody and take them out and then go ahead and move them on. And that's something that if you look at our comments about another defensive midfielder, when they beat Barcelona, you tell me who was in the midfield.
Yep,
It was Wanyama and Brown. And
exactly.
they did what they had to do. And Wanyama scored the goal, at Celtic Park. I get it. Did we have a ton of the possession? No. But you know what? They didn't have to they weren't going to push them around. And in Europa, we're not going to face that level. And you get me one defensive midfielder who has an international pedigree, and anyway.
So, Dr. J, let's move on to the big news of the day. It is Saturday, November 1st, 2014, and it's currently 4 p.m. our time, which makes it, about 8 p.m. Celtic Park time. And there's been pretty much the biggest news Celtic have had in the last, shall we say, 4 years.
Oh
This
yes.
elephant in the
Oh
room.
yes.
Let's just go ahead and talk about it.
Let me tell you something. It's something that you called that would happen, that every Celtic fan hates, did finally happen. And the only person happy about it is Peter Lawwell. Want to guess what it is?
Could take a wee guess, break it. Let's go for it. Let's just
Okay.
the elephant's in the room long enough.
Ready? The elephant in the room. Ready? Celtic won the balance sheet cup for all the teams in the UK. I am so happy right now. Least the other day, and Celtic won the balance sheet cup, and let me tell you something. When I was over at Celtic Park last weekend, it was so I got to see Peter, and Peter and I were hanging out. And I don't mean Peter from Celtic TV, and which it could have been. I mean, for as much as Peter wants to pay the living wage, it could have been Peter who answered your question on Celtic TV phone call. But my point is that Celtic is now the top winner of the balance sheet cup of all of UEFA. I'm beside myself.
Okay,
I'm so happy. I know all the people I know would be so excited.
sorry, explain this to me anyway. What is this shit? What is this situation?
Of all the balance sheets that were submitted to UEFA for financial fair play,
Yeah.
Celtic was number 2 in Europe and number 1 in the UK as profitable.
So they actually have.
Yes.
So they actually have this as a contest.
Yes.
You know what this reminds me of?
Yes.
Seen like the early '90s when Celtic were raw pish, right? Where the Celtic board would celebrate things that are completely meaningless to anyone but themselves. Where they brought out like commemorative posters of Celtic winning the Tennent's Sixes. If you don't know what the Tennent's Sixes is, it was an indoor football tournament that took place at Kelvin Grove indoor arena, and it was like the likes of John Collins and Paul McStay won effectively a 5-a-side or 6-a-side tournament, and they got a wee
Oh,
cup.
you mean like when Celtic got pumped out of the Champions League and they heralded the Leo Fasson signing, like that?
Yeah, we always have those bits of news that come out
Okay.
of the woodwork.
But no, Celtic did. They ended up. They're the most profitable team in the UK. Let me tell you something. I know right now Peter's up in his sitting there in the freezing cold rain, warming his buns against his nice heated driveway, and sitting there thinking, hey, this is great. Lighting his $300 Cuban cigars with $100 bills on fire, and I have no problem with that. I
But you
mean,
know
he's
what?
he's able.
I think we should go into his swimming pool, pull out wads and wads of money out in his kind of Scrooge McDuck swimming pool, and just throw a shitload of it at Guidetti to sign him. But that's that. However, we were kind of joking there. There is a big situation happening at Celtic right now, which we will get to. We are going to talk about. But we realised that if we talk about it straight away, it's just going to dominate the rest of the podcast. So we got
And I
some
know
other
what it is.
things.
Wait, hold on. I know what it is. Let me just lay it out there.
What is it?
It's Diarra. Asana Diarra. He's our defensive midfielder. I've been dying to say this for an hour now. I read it this morning. He was supposed to. I don't know if he did or didn't make it to the match day. He was supposed to be in Glasgow to go to the game.
Right.
And I know on today, the 1st November at 4:15. That is what I am so excited about right now. Just getting a French international footballer who's a defensive battleship to play for us. I mean, ex Chelsea, ex Arsenal. The kid's only 29. Oh, he's old. So
Jogan or Yaldi, should we sign him?
oh, Yaldi. What would he cost us?
Well, wages probably, that's about it. But I think he's the type of
Okay.
guy that will probably sign till the end of the season anyway. And
Yeah, exactly.
hopefully he could be that missing piece of the puzzle we're talking about.